Tshebeletso Mohale, Mohale. Ha la le bakwena. Meyago ya lona ha ya wela fatshe. Kuno bejile skoti, no sandla skoti. Kunindithi camago bomdlane otutuse. Imithandazo yeni ivakele. Umdali uvumile. Nam ndiyavuma. Ke Tshebeletso Mohale lebitso. Good evening, everybody. These poems that I'll be saying, they'll be up and down. So, a bit of sadness and a bit of calmness. So, this first poem I'll be reciting, my friend Luyanda Zindela dared me to perform. I would always write, but then not perform. And yeah, it's titled, Tell Me If I'm Wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong, because I break the law at times. So many spaces given, and so much time rewarded. You fall in your movement and you steal these surroundings. Run from me when you see me. Push me when I hurt you, and bite me when I bark. Tell me if I'm wrong, because I break the law at times. I'm human and that's my excuse. Yet I hurt thou father, thou mother, and thy soul. So cunning I fade with space. So angry I scream with time. Don't pass judgment upon me. I'm capable of doing that on my behalf. So tell me when I'm wrong, because I've lost me and thy person. Thank you. I love to write love poems, but then I don't like reciting them because I suck at love. Yeah. Yeah. Now I know I told you I love you so many times, on and off. But you don't know how much I had to dig for these words, from my heart to my lungs, to flow through my throat to the tip of my tongue and tell you, I love you. You just stared at me with your baby dark brown eyes and said, me too. Was it true? I guess I'll never know, but these words echo in my dreams as I dream of me too. Now I know I told you I love you. But how do you love a person and not know who they are? The name and the body is who you know, but the inner person is a ghost that stares into your eyes and makes you wonder who they really are. I tried to search the you, but got linked to the person. That made me to not slam my alarm clock that I loathe, as it did not sing good music to my ears. You were everything, but everything so vague. Now I know I told you I love you. Loved you so much that you were the topic in my heart, my mind, to friends. But little did I know that I was just another left leg chick that gave you balance. It's not easy to love, but we do it anyway, as it's the only thing that brings comfort to our zone. Now I know I told you goodbye so many times, on and off. But now you know that this time it's for good. We might still bump into each other, but not together. This next poem, it took me a while to write it. A long, long time. Yeah, it's also love, a love poem. The night before the morning of my departure, when your heart finally allowed itself to lay all its cards on the table, while my heart lay patiently facing your backside on a bed where we allowed our skins to foretell lies that we could fix this. When we couldn't, as the cracks in our silence and distance had already revealed our broken love we still held on to. With hesitation, you calculated the words to sweet talk to me. You knew damn well that they were already heavy on your tongue, and I was going to bear them. I wish you had done it sooner though, then allow me to take that 12-hour bus drive to Bedi at the doorstep of my heartbreak. That was enough torture on its own. So as they slipped out one by one in a trail heading towards me, I had to put on bravery and walk with pride as I approached them, making sure that you did not see me break in the process. With every drop that, with every drop, with every tear that dropped, I rushed to catch it, as that was my fear, as that was my strength falling. I was going to need it, while you enjoyed the new pleasures of your newfound love, forgetting that I was ever there. You saw something in her and followed your heart. I saw something in you and accepted our fall. Boarded that 12-hour bus drive back to Durban. No kiss on the cheek, no butterflies, nor did our eyes lock. Just a cold, forced hug, and that was it. This next poem, I auditioned with it last year for Poetry Africa. I was a prelude, and somehow they loved it. It's titled Innocent Purse, and it's all about an event that took place. I grew up in Cape Town and in Gugulethu, and we moved to Philippi. Shacks. I lived in a shack once. And a lot of stuff would happen there. And I have good and bad memories of Cape Town, but I still love Cape Town nonetheless. I remember them as if it was yesterday. Their naked bodies all bruised up from hungry sjamboks. I remember grown men's screams turned to baby screams filled with sorrow. Tiny teardrops flowing from their eyes like neglected taps, watching how every single drop got buried down to the ground. And I just stood there with my empty hands. I remember 3 men wrestle for their lives inside angry flames of fire, and how their body skins turned to fireflies on a midnight sky, while there was no 4th man to save them. As these 3 men were not like the 3 innocent Hebrew boys from Babylon, but criminals awaiting death. Oh, Philippi, one of the harshest townships in Cape Town. Just like Gugulethu and Khayelitsha, mob justice comes first before the police. I'd seen my fair share of angry hyenas and vultures attacking bulldogs and rattlesnakes leading up to my teens. And living amongst them was my safe haven. But I guess people's screams, pangas, and blood don't paint a good picture to a 12-year-old girl's dream. That safe environment she called home is just a dark, twisted fable to tickle her fancy. Now at 22, their tiny screams keep haunting my dreams, asking for forgiveness like I'm their God. I never laid a stone on them, I swear. I was just a 12-year-old girl who couldn't mind her own business. I was part of a crowd of sinners who crucified other sinners at a blink of an eye, chanting, "Let them burn. Let them burn, let them burn." Now I have blood on my hands of 3 men whose names I don't even know. We've all stolen something in our lives before. And yes, they stole that woman's purse. But who are we to claim their lives? Are we above the law? I am no God, but I have a conscience. And I stand in that same position as they did, asking for forgiveness from them. But my efforts fall on dead ears. We were wrong. They were wrong. But that purse was innocent. You call the streets I walk on your place of refuge, the one and only place that has ever made you whole. Though at times it cripples your spirit and chews your inner soul, you still find a portion of peace in it, as it's the only place that has ever welcomed you with open arms when you ran away from the beginning of your existence. So who am I to come into your territory and make you feel worthless when the words still echo at the back of your ears? Who am I to dismantle the bit of hope that still carries you each and every morning, assuring you that things will get better, knowing well that they won't? I know that hope, how someone can take it away from you without even knowing. You blame yourself for allowing it, as you didn't have the guts to stand up. One can only be inhumane to another human being for a short while, as guilt accelerates at the same pace as anger does, but we choose to fight it. No one should ever be looked down upon, even when they look up to you. It was the Sabbath that day, and I remember it clearly, as my guilt forever carries me. Therefore, I stand as I strip my heart open with guilt on this stage, trying to rewrite my wrong in front of an audience who did not witness the event of words that I pierced through your heart, crucified you with judgment, because for 20 minutes, I tried to wear your shoes, walk in them, but I failed with each and every trying step. A person like me does not know the willpower that forces you in search for food in our waste bins, or the disappointment that carries you each and every day to continue begging, and how some will never feel sorry for you. I don't blame you for charging at me like an angry bull. I started war with a warrior. I brought it into his backyard. Well, I did not know how to fight. So I am grateful that you found a bit of hope, that you found a bit of peace in your heart to forgive me. I am grateful that you found a bit of forgiveness in your heart to look away, because fear was written in my eyes, and no one should ever die with fear in their eyes. But let it be peace. That is what we want. That is how it should be. Even though you're not here and you'll never get to hear this poem, for you roam the streets of Durban from dusk to dawn, I want to voice out my apologies to you. I want God to forgive me. You to forgive me. You are my brother, my neighbor. I should love you as I love myself. But at times I fail. I don't know your name. I never will. But this poem is addressed to you. The next two poems are about myself, like all of these poems I've been reciting though. And these poems that I will be saying, I wrote them because it was a sense of healing to myself. In 2013, I was admitted at a psychiatric ward, and the doctors told me that I was very depressed and suicidal and a danger to myself. So I spent a week there, and when I left, I had two choices. It was either to change, or I knew that for the next 2 days, I would finally do something that I've always wanted to do, and I would succeed at that time. So these next two poems are about that. I didn't plan to wake up that morning, wake up to life, to earth and its inhabitants. But the kiss of the morning sun touched my cheeks and told me to wake up from my deep sleep. At first I thought that kiss was the light from the other side welcoming my presence, and that I had finally crossed over to the one place I longed to be in. But all that got erased by loud voices, pacing footsteps, and beeping machines. Then I heard a clear voice saying, "Her pulse is stable." At that moment, everything dawned on me, because I knew where I was. Another damn hospital and another damn suicide fail. I damned those sleeping pills for a job undone. That was my 5th dying attempt with fail. But no, God forbid, and God would not allow to hear another mother sing her sad cries, because yesterday he had heard one too many, and today would be one too many less to his ears. The other four were executed on trying to jump off tall buildings and throwing myself at moving cars. But sometimes, there was always a good Samaritan who would find themselves at the wrong place, at the wrong time, trying to save a girl that needed no saving. So just like that, I was handed over to psychologists on a bronze platter who told me they could fix my mental health. But I needed no fixing. The emotional abuse that ringed my mind, those mommy, daddy, stop fighting screams that we preyed upon as they beat each other to death with no fear that we stood by and watched. We tried asking for help from the neighbors at 2 a.m. in the morning and seek support from the walls to deliver us. But sometimes, we became the sacrificial deliverance that saved them from their own misery. We were just kids, and that was our life. She told me she understands and was here to help, but I did not need her help. The mental pain that raged through my deadly mind had reached the surface of no return, seeking comforts in suicides, sharp objects, and drugs that took me so high up to cloud 9, but cloud 9 would never last. It would take me back to conversations with God as I asked for a saving grace, and the blade that I held in my hand, which was used to cut myself, just to ease the pain from exceeding, became my only help. So in the last September moon, I decided to stop living in my pain, but find God in it, embrace Him, as I try to find peace and happiness in Him. For He says, He'll never leave nor forsake me. Now that was my saving grace. Thank you. I am grateful that that whole experience being in a psychiatric ward taught me a lot about myself, and that at times, if I do not know how to deal with something, I can always escape in trying to write poetry and sharing with other people. Yeah. The last time I saw you, you were lying right next to me. Your body so cold and lifeless. No breath came out to greet me. I shook your dead body to bring you back to life, but you had already left without saying farewell. Dear sis, you don't know how much pain you inflicted. The screams and anger I had to roar out in the rain to reduce my anguish. And when someone was looking at the corners of my teardrops, I had to brush them off if there's something in my eye. I had to pick myself up, even when my weight was outside the window. But you don't know all that. I was there too, you know. I faced it all, just like you did. How dear aunt made us swallow those words as if swallowing smooth yogurt. How we had to dance to the throes of her fist and camouflage our bodies with brown pastel. Though pain shoved me to the corner with fear, I wore it as if wearing that ugly dress to make it compliment me. I pulled each and every breath and strength out of my bones to loan it to you, because I could see how your pain was draining the life out of you. I abandoned me to give you you. It has been 10 years since we last saw her, but with all that, I guess she still haunted you. And now you're doing the same with me. Dear sis, ever since you left, I left myself in that same spot you laid, walked away to build my walls with antidepressant pills, locked my doors with psychologist locks, and put up new curtains on my window with a new personality because I didn't want to accept the invitation from 6 feet under. And as I bring you these flowers, I want to let you know that I'm still renovating. And I've picked myself up from that same spot you once laid. Thank you.
I would like to thank each and every poet that writes, to each and everybody, and each and every audience that listens to us. Because sometimes we write about ourselves, and we're not ashamed to share who we are. And even though others judge us at times, we write because we want to heal. We write because we want to heal others. We write because poetry is who we are. Thank you.